Benjamin Russell will be Brent Dye, young man that was outstanding handling the play. Big kick, and we're underway. Glad you're with us in Birmingham. And a fumble on the return, and able to get on the football but not get a lot of yardage. DeJuan Garrett, a sophomore, 5'6", 140, and Homewood will start off in terrible field.
Opening game jitters, that's to be expected. But let's not forget Homewood. They've been here, done that. They are very familiar with these surroundings. But still, Chris, that doesn't mean that they can't be nervous.
Brad Knight will get the start. You know why? Well, it's just his turn. That's the rationale behind head coach Bob Newton's decision. He also and Thornton running the football. Look at him go across the 45, across midfield. He could go the distance, and he will. One play, one score, touchdown Homewood.
Well, we talked about this super sophomore to start this show. I don't know if it's an omen or not, but I will tell you one thing. Look out for this young man. He is destined. Well, I shouldn't say destined. He is a star. Stepped in for Riley Strauss in the city game. We talked about already. He has racked up 1,000 yards.
And you can add 95 to it because if my math's correct, it is going to be close to 95. He shakes off 1, 2, 3 defenders, and then, of course, this is just pure speed, Chris. This young man pulls away separation, and watch the quarterback. Brad Knott turns around, and he makes a good block just like that. We got a score.
Extra point attempt is up. It is good by Chris Souther, and just like that, Homewood leads it 7-0, a 92-yard touchdown run by that young man. Brandon Thornton, he averages better than 8.5 yards per carry. The average just went up, and look at the blocking.
He got some terrific blocking, but this was still just a wonderful individual. How about that stiff arm right there against Ryan Benson? And then this is all about speed. This young man is blessed with an abundance of speed. And once again, I want to point out, you can't see it in the picture here because we're ISO'd on Brandon. But number 7, we saw Brad Knott really come up with a nice block to make sure that he got in the end zone. That'll make that scooter move a little quicker.
It will indeed. A new Super 6 Class 5A record for a touchdown run from scrimmage or a touchdown play from scrimmage. Carnell Williams had set the old record. That name somewhat familiar when he was at Etowah in 1991. His Class 5A championship game run of 91 yards has just been eclipsed by that man, Brandon Thornton.
Well, we said this game would be full of fireworks, and we didn't know it was going to start quite like that. But trust me when I tell you, this is a different Benjamin Russell team, and you'll see that on their first offensive possession. This coach right here, Carl Martin, has decided to open things up. He's got an outstanding quarterback in Clay Harrelson. We talked about the fact that he's already thrown for over 2,200 yards, and now you will see their offense here in just a second.
The kick fielded by Dye at the goal line. Some room across the 30-yard line, and Benjamin Russell will start off in great field position.
Well, we're going to see that block. He just sort of screened out, got in the way. Watch Brad Knott. He just made sure that he was escorted, but he did stop and come back to make sure that Brandon was going to get in the end zone safely. Once again, a terrific way for Homewood to open up tonight's game.
And you get a look at the speed of Brad Knott, because remember, he started a couple of yards behind Thornton and then caught up to him. So now, Benjamin Russell with Harrelson at quarterback will have a nice pickup as well on his first carry across the 40. They'll spot it actually right at the 40-yard line as we take a look at the offensive lineup for Benjamin Russell. That offensive front with Richardson and Meade at the tackles, Caldwell and Ross at the guards, and Parks Geddes is the center. Brent Dye, the do-everything player, the kicker, return man, and split end, leading the backs and receivers there. Clay Harrelson, 121 passes out of 228 completed. As on the carry, Raymond Hurd, he is brought down. by Harley Sanders. Big number 58, we will call his name quite often as we look at the defensive front for the Homewood Patriots. With full name Harlequin, but Harley just sounds so much tougher for a defensive lineman. Gerhard, the linebacker, leading the way there for the Patriots, and I knew I would botch his name. Gerhard Mathengani, as you see the secondary. If you write it down phonetically, you can read it with no problem. If you go off-site, you're going to have a hard time. They're having a hard time finding the quarterback for Benjamin Russell, Clay Harrelson, but Jake Galbraith is able to bring him down. Not until, though, the Wildcats pick up a first down. Clay Harrelson, you see his rushing numbers. He can do a little bit of everything. 2,200 yards through the air, almost 1,000 rushing the football as well. 12 touchdowns on the ground, 21 through the air. He can really put the fear into a defensive coordinator. And we've got a stoppage in action right now. Who's called the timeout? It's Benjamin Russell that wants to talk things over with 9:58 to go. Carl Martin trying to find an answer. His team down 7 early in the 5A state championship game from Legion Field. Along with Herb Winches and our sideline reporter Roger Schultz, I'm Chris Stewart, back with you at Legion Field in Birmingham. Brandon Thornton's Super 6 record, 92-yard touchdown run on the first play from scrimmage, giving the Homewood Patriots the 7-0 lead after the extra point was tacked on. Benjamin Russell has been able to move the football on their first possession. They've got 1st and 10 from their own 44-yard line. Harrelson on the slant. He's got Dye in Homewood territory, able to stay on his feet to the 35-yard line. And certainly we're seeing here, Herb, that the Patriots, or I should say the Wildcats, not intimidated by the quick start from Homewood.
Well, not at all. We talked about this team having a lot of firepower on their offense, and Brent Dye happens to be Harrelson's favorite receiver. He emptied out his backfield. He ran the spread, sent 5 wide receivers out, and that's his favorite. You'll see this all night long. Number 6, Brent Dye. He comes up big again.
What a change in the look offensively from 1 year ago. They went with a wing T set last season, now with 4 wide outs working from the shotgun. They'll fake the handoff. That's Harrelson again, picking up about 3 yards before the interior of that Homewood defense is able to bring him in. Mark Longworth leading the charge for the Patriots.
I got to tell you, Chris, both offenses, although we only saw the one play out of Homewood, a running play, but they're very, very similar. So that tells you their defenses know how their offenses play because they go up against them every day in practice. But very similar, these defenses, kind of the West Coast. But now we're seeing the power out here.
2nd down, we'll call it 7, as again Harrelson will drop back into the shotgun look. And he'll run it again. Quarterback draw inside the 25 to the 22-yard line. And the Wildcats picking up their 3rd first down. Great return by Brent Dye to give them excellent field position, and then they've moved it right down the field in successive plays.
Well, this is a called play. It's a quarterback draw, and Antoine Dunn comes over from his linebacker spot and nails him for Homewood, but that is a set call. This young man's very dangerous because he's got very good feet, he's got very good vision downfield, and he has a very strong arm to go with it. He's got all the tools.
He does indeed. Again, 6'2" and 180, a junior. He has thrown for over 2,200 yards and has rushed for over 920 coming into the game. Tried to hook up with Dye. He slipped down at the 15-yard line, and they're fortunate that the defensive back slipped as well. Jared Simpson was in coverage over there, and had he not slipped down, he may have had a chance at the interception. But Dye slipped initially, and you would understand if this is a very fast surface at Legion Field. There's been a lot of wear and tear over the last 8 days. I'm sure many of you remember the quagmire that Alabama and Southern Miss played in last Thursday night. Since then, you had the SWAC championship game on Saturday. We've already had 3 high school football championship games played here prior to this 5A contest. Keeping it himself, Harrelson, he is brought down at the 16-yard line, perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle by Nick Newell because there was a lot of room to the outside for the Wildcats quarterback.
Well, and you're going to see Tyrone Martin, the fullback. He's going to provide a good block as he knocks out the defensive end, and then also delivering a good block downfield. Number 77, Jeremy Mead, the right tackle, coming over on the pull and helping out Clay Harrelson.
Already Harrelson 6 carries, 31 yards. This will be the 9th play of this drive. It's 3rd down and 4. Harrelson on the give up the middle. They'll try to move that pile near the 10-yard line. I think they've got enough for the first. It will be close. But picking up the first down was Tyrone Martin. 45 carries, 494 yards coming in, averaging just under 11 yards per carry. Incredible numbers for that young man. 6'2", 215, and a senior. We already mentioned it, that he is committed to play at Auburn University.
We got a timeout for a measurement. Our first one of the ball game. I'm guessing probably the first of many. This is going to be a shootout.
It is enough for the first down by more than a foot. And so the Wildcats of Coach Carl Martin, after giving up a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage, a 92-yard burst right up the middle from Brandon Thornton. The Wildcats, much more methodically, able to move it down the field. And the Patriots trying to find a way to stop this Wildcat attack. Up the middle again to Martin. He tries to shake free from the pile. It gets to the 6-yard line. It will be 2nd down from there. They can pick up a first down without getting a touchdown. That first down marker is just inside the 2. It'll be 2nd and 5 as the clock ticks under 7:10 to go in this opening quarter, as you see in the top left-hand corner of your screen on the Mountain Dew scoreboard. Bob Newton may be limited in terms of his mobility because of that Achilles tendon surgery, but the way he was yelling on the sidelines, it hasn't hurt his vocal cords at all, you can tell. Harrelson to the air, looking, fade pattern, and that one is caught. Touchdown, Benjamin Russell. Eric Brock on the receiving end of the touchdown pass from Clay Harrelson. That is the 22nd touchdown throw of the year for Harrelson, and the Wildcats are within 1.
Well, we see this all the time now at any level, and that is the fade pattern. The quarterback takes 3 steps back, and he throws it. It's the fade, and give Brock a lot of credit because he made a great individual effort as he just got it just over the arms of Jared Simpson.
Guy perfect on the extra point attempt. Stop me if you've heard this before. Homewood and Benjamin Russell are tied. 6:45 to go in the first quarter. As expected, a great one between the Patriots and the Wildcats. Ground level camera at the touchdown throw from Harrelson to Eric Brock to tie the score.
Well, some great camera work by our crew at Cross Creek, and I can't blame Simpson. I mean, that's about as good as you can defend. That was just a great individual effort by Eric Brock. If he didn't catch it, nobody else was. And it's kind of odd here, Chris, in that Eric Brock, that is his first touchdown catch of the year. The big-time pass catchers on this team are Toller and Dye, so they fooled Homewood by going to Brock, but he has got some great hands because he leads his team with 7 interceptions, and you see the scoring drive a little more methodical than we saw from Homewood.
Yeah, 1 play, 92 yards, all it took for Homewood, but still, we are tied. Thornton will toss that one back to the official after the great kickoff from Brent Dye. So this time, the Patriots will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20. They started from their own 8 on the first play from scrimmage. That just made it a more dramatic run for Brandon Thornton, as again the Patriots will come out with Bragnott at quarterback.
They run a lot of no-huddle offense. They get their signals from the sidelines. You'll see that quite a bit.
4 wideouts in formation. Not to the air. He's got a man. It's complete. Freddie Young making the catch. His 35th of the season. Shundell Rousseau able to make the stop. Homewood finally giving us a chance to look at their starting offensive lineup. You see the men that do the job up front for Bragnott and for Parker Gargis. Those are the skill position players there. Turtelot, the leading receiver, at 29 on the year. They'll put the 3 wideouts to the top of your screen there as they hand it inside to Thornton, and not quite as successful as his last carry. You had a host of Benjamin Russell Wildcats there to greet him. Here's the defensive front for the Wildcats. Corey Harris was among those leading the charge on that last play. The linebacking core very, very good. And the secondary with Brock, Toller, and Benson will be tested this evening by Homewood's quarterback duo of Gargas and Knott. 3rd down, we'll call it 6. The line of scrimmage right at the 25. He's got 5 wideouts at his disposal now. They'll swing it out to Thornton. He'll try to get to the first down marker. He can't do it. We saw a few moments ago that Eric Brock can catch the football. He knows how to bring down a ball carrier as well as he stops Thornton shy of that first down marker.
Yeah, that's just a short pass. It's designed to pick up 4 or 5 yards, and that's what Homewood needed on the play. But the sure-handed tackle there of Eric Brock, who has already come up big in this game. In the first quarter, he just had that great touchdown grab, and now he makes a big stop here to force Homewood to punt the ball.
Parker Gargas, not only sharing the quarterbacking duties, but he is also the punter on this football team. Not his best effort, a long of 65 this year, but Dye does a great job of hustling and fielding that one before it can take an extra roll. It'll be great field position for Benjamin Russell. First, we'll check in with Roger Schultz. Roger?
I tell you what, Coach Martin spent 10 years in the Canadian Football League with the Edmonton Eskimos with the likes of Warren Moon and Dieter Brock. When he took over as head coach, he said, let's spread this field out a little bit, and you're seeing the results of it right now.
Dieter Brock and wide open offenses, those are pretty much synonymous, aren't they, Herb?
You better believe it. All-time record setter at my alma mater, Jacksonville State.
They had to throw it when you left. Couldn't run it anymore, right? Harrison could run it near the 40-yard line, and that will be about a yard shy of the first down. And the similarities not only in the schemes, but also in the strengths of the quarterbacks running the football, Herb, something you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and you'll see Parker Gargers be more of the runner for Homewood versus Bragg Knott, but you got just the one quarterback here, Clay Harrelson, and I'll tell you, he's very dangerous with his feet. We've already seen what he can do with his arm, and he really runs this offense to perfection. Very, very smooth beginning here for the Wildcats.
Guy is the other receiver just out of the picture, but they'll go up the middle, and not much running room at all for Raymond Hurd. As the stop by Homewood is actually for a loss of a yard. So it will be 3rd down and now 2 with the football resting at the 41-yard line.
Linebackers having to make a lot of tackles. We've already seen Antoine Dunn. That time Mark Longworth in on the stop. So that means they're getting to the linebackers. They've had a lot of success early on, and they've had some terrific field position. Started this drive inside the 50.
So on 3rd and 2, they'll still have a couple of wideouts, but they'll go on the toss sweep. Looking for the first down market on second effort. Able to get there, I believe, was Tyrone Martin. We'll wait on the spot. Thought he was going to be at least a yard shy after the first hit right at the 40, but then he was able to push through, and I believe they're going to have to measure this one again.
Let's watch Ty Martin. The young man has a lot of strength for a kid that's 6'1" and 215 pounds. A lot of power in that upper body. He drives to get that extra yard. Let's see if it paid off. This is our second measurement of the night. I told you we're going to keep up with these. Ooh, that looks about an inch short.
Credit card length, maybe. They will be faced with a decision, and I would be surprised if they don't go for it right here, frankly. You're inside the 40-yard line of Homewood. And with the way your offense has been able to move the football thus far, you got to think you can move that pile.
Yeah, you don't want to lose the momentum either. This young man has proven to us that he's a good runner. I look for 13 to carry it.
Oh, and he lost the snap. There's a fumble on the play. And regardless of who comes up with it, it won't be enough for the first down. So either it's Homewood's football recovering the fumble or taking over on downs. Benjamin Russell got it back, but still shy of the 39-yard line, which is what they needed for the first. and we'll see that this play never got started.
Yeah, that's just a bad exchange there from his center, and he just never had a good hand on it there as Parks Geddes had his trouble getting it back to the quarterback. As you see, well, he pulled out. I'm going to have to lay that one on Harrelson in that he pulled out a little bit quickly, but I know what he was thinking about, Chris. He was going to run the quarterback sneak, and he was just thinking about picking up that inch, and he forgot to take the football with him. Huge play and a huge stop for the Homewood defense in this first quarter with 2:54 to go. Tied up 7-all.
Now it's Parker Gargas's turn. You see his numbers on the year. Tremendous thrower as well as a tremendous rusher. Just like Bragnott. That's why they alternate these two on the reverse. Great block, but they're going to call a clip. As the reverse pass is incomplete. Was it not? Yes, it was incomplete. Bragnott in the game as a wide receiver. But I think they're going to call a clip. Let's see. It is a clip against Homewood.
It'll be called against the tight end, number 89, Britt McGarity, as he was coming back to try to make a block to protect his quarterback. You'll see him in white, number 89. It's the end around, and here comes Britt McGarity, but he just gets him on the shoulder, and of course, if you're not sure, you shouldn't make the block, but I know he was trying to help out the situation there, but the clip is called against Marcus Gunn.
Let's see a little bit different angle. I'm not sure I totally agreed with the call on the first look. He did have the helmet behind the shoulder.
Yeah, they're going to call that every time. Tough call there, but a good effort by Britt McGarity.
Freddie Young, the man that threw the football in the reverse.
Flipping on the offense, still first down.
What Andrew told.
So that will back it up. They try a gamble right there, and Bob Newton, expression on his face telling you what he thought about that last set of events for his squad. That'll put them all the way back inside the 15. Last time they had field position this bad, though, they handed it to Thornton, and he rumbled 92 yards for a score. This time, the last guard just to run it himself. He's got room across the 20. He had to hold up just a bit, and that kept him from moving even further down the field. He gets to the 22-yard line before Ty Martin brings him down. We'll see it again. He got a nice burst initially, but then ran into traffic.
Well, he likes to pull it down and run with it. As we've said, he is the better runner of the two. Bragnott is more of the drop-back, sit-in-the-pocket passer. This young man loves to run the football, and he is some kind of competitor, as we saw a year ago in this state championship.
Even after the nice pickup, it's 2nd and 28. They've got to get to the 50-yard line to pick up the first. Quarterback draw again, but this time nowhere near as successful. Wrapping him up on the play for the Wildcats, Maurice Harrell, the junior, 6 feet, 200 pounds, able to make the stop.
I think this was a case of just not making the right decision. And if he'd have gone to the right instead of the left, I'm not saying he would have picked up first down yardage, but he wouldn't have lost negative yardage on the play, that's for sure.
A loss of 2 makes it 3rd and 30. They're moving backwards again. They've got 5 wideouts in formation. If you count Thornton, he'll stay in as a blocking back. No, they'll set up the screen, but read absolutely perfectly. Roderick Daniel, the sophomore linebacker, read that one perfectly and was able to make the stop, and Benjamin Russell's defense starting to come on strong.
The outside linebacker, Daniel, we stay with Parkus, the fake and the throwback, which we see so many times. Try to get it to his running back, Thornton. But, boy, you saw that Daniel would have no part of that. A really nice play there for Benjamin Russell. And they've got Homewood backed up, and they've got a punt very deep.
Gargas, a short punt in his last attempt. A low kick that will be fielded by Dye again on the run. Stays on his feet as he gets to the 36-yard line. Tough, gritty competitor, Brent Dye, able to set up his squad. Benjamin Russell again with excellent field position, and I tell you, he saved at least 20 yards in field position by running up and fielding that one on the run, Herb.
And you know, Chris, the last time they got the ball, they got it on the other side of the 50 to about the Homewood 48. This time they set up this offensive possession at the 36. Hey, you don't want to give this team too many chances if you're the Homewood defense, so they're going to be tested again here, I assure you.
Harrelson has already thrown 1 touchdown pass in this game. We're knotted at 7 with under a minute to go in the first quarter. Harrelson keeping it, looking, he's got room. 15, 10, 5, and down to the 2-yard line. Tremaine Marbury saved the touchdown, but Harrelson puts the Wildcats inside the 5, first and goal from the 2.
Boy, I just love the way this young man runs the option. He knows what he's doing. Look how he puts the ball in the belly of the fullback. He leaves it there and then pulls it out. Homewood, the entire defense thought it was going to the fullback. They get sucked in. Look at this. It looks like Tyrone Martin is going to keep the ball, and Homewood, they felt like he was going to get it too, but instead he pulls it out, and he takes it down the field and gets it inside the 3-yard line.
They put it at the 3, a 33-yard carry. Then they hand it off to the tailback, and Tyrone Martin pushing the pile near the 1-yard line as the first quarter has come to a close. We played 15. The quarter comes to a close. Homewood, Benjamin Russell playing against each other. The score's knotted. We played 15 minutes, or 12 minutes, excuse me, in high school football here at Legion Field. We are tied in the Class 5A championship game along with Herb Winch's. I'm Chris Stewart. Benjamin Russell trying to change that score. Harrelson keeping it himself, and we've got a flag on the play. Likely an illegal procedure, Herb, that'll back it up 5 yards.
Yeah, usually when it comes from the side judge, that is going to be the call, as he's discussing it there with the head referee, and we'll get the call momentarily. You can look at the face of Carl Martin and tell that it's more than likely going against his Wildcats.
It is the false start, and that is a big, big penalty. You go from being able to run the quarterback sneak to now having to come up with a little bit different philosophy.
Get down, goal to go for the Wildcats.
And I noticed that he puts back in the game Eric Brock and also Brent Dye, so I think we can probably look for the spread offense here instead of the 2 tight ends and trying to run the football into the end zone. More than likely, they may pass it.
Hurd dots the I. Martin is the fullback behind Harrelson, and he stumbles going back. Didn't have the bad exchange that time, but he tripped getting into the pocket, and back-to-back miscues, changing the face of things for Benjamin Russell.
It looked like to me that he tripped over his left guard, and that would be Calvin Caldwell. I think that he did. It looks like Calvin had stepped out with his right foot, and then you saw Harrelson as he was trying to go back. I don't know if he was going to hand it off or pass, but he tripped over the right foot of his left guard, and that's another costly error there by the Wildcat team that looked like for everything they were going to score easily against Homewood, but now they got a 3rd down situation and goal.
They've also got 4 wideouts in formation, but Harrelson tried the quarterback draw, and it was snuffed out. Harley Sanders driving him back to the 16-yard line, or will they spot it at the 14? They will. They'll move it up just a bit, but another big play on 3rd down, and now more than likely we'll see Brent Dye try a field goal.
Harley Sanders, a really big kid. He's very agile, and you can see that the way he brought down Harrelson. So that's a terrific stop there for Homewood. And Brent Dye is an excellent field goal kicker. We've seen some good field goal kickers here in this tournament.
He's 11 of 16 on the year. This one will be just beyond the 20, so a 30-yard try from the hold of Travis Harry. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And Benjamin Russell has taken a 10-7 lead over the Patriots of Homewood High School. Roger Schultz down on the sideline has a special guest. Roger?
Thank you, guys. I got Phil Lasby. Of course, he coached Benjamin Russell last year in that great overtime game. Of course, it was a loss, but he got his yesterday as UMS Wright as an assistant coach. They won the state championship. Kind of give your impressions of last year's game and last night's game.
Well, last year was a great ball game. It's something to be proud of. The kids, losing is not fun, but Homewood did a great job. Coach Newton and his staff do a great job. But this bunch right here, under Coach Martin, longtime assistant there, now head coach Benjamin Russell. I tell you what, they're going to do it tonight, I believe.
Thanks, Coach. Good stuff.
Thank you, Roger. And Phil Lazenby, of course, standing on the sidelines for Benjamin Russell, but he's got a friendship with Bob Newton, the head coach at Homewood, that goes back more than 30 years when those two were part of a national championship team in 1971 at the Division II level with Samford University, and their friendship has remained very close over the years, but they've had to butt heads a few times in some very big games, and I know it's nice for him to be able to sit back, watch, and enjoy this one.
Yeah, especially after getting that ring last night. I know that meant a lot to Coach Lazenby, who has been around for a long time and really one of the quality coaches. We've got some great high school coaches all around this state.
Guy sets a kickoff after drilling a 30-yard field goal that gave his team the present 10-7 lead. Thornton on the run across the 20. He's at the 24-yard line and gets corralled there. Nice stop in the open field by Joe Jackson, but still good field position for Homewood. I don't know that that's a good thing, Herb. When they started off in terrible position, they got one play and a touchdown run. Since then, the Wildcats have done a great job of keeping Homewood in check.
And you see the camera on number 11, the junior Parker Gargis. It's still his turn in the rotation. And as we said, he is the better runner of the two quarterbacks. Bragnott is the better passer.
That's Freddie Young to the top of your screen as Thornton flanks Gargis in the shotgun look. Thornton not able to get much room. He got leveled on the play. A big hit by Shundell Rousseau, senior linebacker, 6 feet, 175. Rousseau, a baseball signee with Jacksonville State University.
No huddle offense. They get the signals from the Homewood sidelines. And they do that, of course, to not allow the defense to make a lot of big substitutions.
Two tight end set. They'll give it to Thornton again, and he is wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Ty Martin carried the football a couple of times tonight for Benjamin Russell. This time, his assignment was to seek out the ball carrier for the other team, and he does a great job, resulting in a 3-yard loss. Yeah, and I have a feeling that Auburn is going to sign him in February. He's already committed, but they're signing him to play linebacker. He is a good fullback, I agree, but I think he's a better linebacker, and those numbers show you that. 187 tackles in the season, 24 quarterback sacks, and he's quite a player at that linebacker spot. Probably at 190 now in the years. Those numbers were coming into tonight's game. They're coming with a blitz, but jumping off sides on the play was Rousseau. He was coming with a blitz from the outside, but I think he got across the line of scrimmage a little bit early. It is an offsides. Signal from Slay Stevens, the referee. So once again, Benjamin Russell continues to shoot itself in the foot.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense, still third down.
Willie Carl Martin, the head coach, 12-2 in his first year as the head coach at Benjamin Russell High School. What a wonderful job he has done over the years. He's been an assistant for many, many years before being elevated to the top spot. And now runs the offense after serving as defensive coordinator as that pass is incomplete. Gargis trying to hook up with the man who will be the starting quarterback on the next series, Bragnott. But he couldn't reel in the pass there, and it will be 4th down.
They'll do that from time to time because Bragnott is such an outstanding athlete, and we know he has tremendous speed. He showed that on that long touchdown run of Brandon, Thornton. But this time they used him as a wide receiver. He almost came up with a good grab to keep the drive alive.
Only averaging 25 yards on 2 punts thus far, numbers that are well below the season average from Parker Gargis. Dye once again the deep man, as they almost got through, and this is the best effort of the night by far from Gargis, and Dye will fair catch that one at his own 39-yard line. Benjamin Russell with a 3-point lead, and they've got the football when we return to Legion Field, the Class 5A state championship in Birmingham. Championship action. Contact the Alabama High School Athletic Association or log on to the World Wide Web at WABM68.com. Each video features highlights from all 6 title games, including the video of your team. Be sure to specify the team names or classes that you want to receive.
Last 3 offensive possessions for the Wildcats. The 48 of Homewood, the 36 of Homewood, and now it's their own 39. All 3 outstanding ways to start each possession.
Harrelson at quarterback, handing it off to Hurd, and he gets absolutely nothing. Great stop by Mark Longworth, the defensive end for Homewood, big number 46.
We have called his name quite a bit already tonight. He's been on several tackles, and you'll see here that he just scrapes off, and the block was trying to be made there by number 45, Marcus Gunn, but Mark Longworth, he wouldn't have anything to do with it. He scraped off and made the tackle for a loss.
Talked about the potential block that Adamson got tangled up there as well, and that one never had a chance. So a loss of 3 on the play. Harrelson looking, but he's going to have to run it. Slips down again, able to stretch the football finally near the 39. I believe they're going to spot him back at the 38. And he's still shy of the original first down, or the original line of scrimmage. So 3rd and about 11 upcoming for the Wildcats. 12-2 on the year, again under first-year head coach Carl Martin. He was an assistant for many, many years. I believe worked under Steve Savarese, who is now, of course, the head coach at Daphne High School. Then served under Phil Lazenby and took over the head coaching job this year. Interception, flag on the play as getting to the 30-yard line, Antoine Dunn. He deflected the football and made the pick, but there is a flag, and we'll see if this one will come back. And judging from the response of the Homewood players, this one will come back. Nope. Ineligible receiver downfield against Benjamin Russell. So the Patriots will have it with excellent field position inside the 35 of the Wildcats.
Antoine Dunn, who made a big play a moment ago, makes another one right here. Look, he just sits, and that's what a good linebacker does. He just sits and waits. He is exactly where he is supposed to be on the field. He dropped back 2, 3, 4 yards, and he waited. He read the eyes of the quarterback, and Harrelson really didn't look off, and he threw it right in the arms of Antoine Dunn. And Dunn almost was one of those juggles, and he was saying, I'm sure to himself, oh my goodness, look what I found. But he hauled it in. That's his 3rd interception of the season, and it couldn't have come at a better time for Homewood, trailing 10-7.
Vargas tags out as Bragnott checks in at quarterback. It's his time to lead the Patriot offense for 2 series. He'll keep it himself around the right side and was looking for a block from Freddie Young, but Ryan Benson was able to fight off the block and make the stop after a gain of only 2 on the play. Ryan Benson, a senior defensive back, 5'7", 150 for the Wildcats of Benjamin Russell High School in Alexander City. On 2nd and 8, again the shotgun. This time they'll give it to Thornton up the middle, and he's able to move ahead for maybe 3 yards as they'll have 3rd and about 5 upcoming now for Homewood.
Boy, they have really keyed on Brandon Thornton since he opened the game. The first play from scrimmage, 92 yards. He has found it tough going ever since then because the Wildcats have really stayed up with him, and they've been following number 48 all over this field offensively.
So a passing situation perhaps, but as well as this team runs it, you never know. They will look to the air, but Knott will have to tuck it and run. I believe they were trying to connect with Daniel Turtelot, who started on the right side and then dropped underneath to the left. They were looking for a throwback there, but it was broken up. Good defense by Benjamin Russell.
And that was a great observation on your part because, Chris, that's exactly, it's a version of the throwback. Bragnott looked back, but I'll tell you, one of the defenders for the Wildcats did a nice job. He went right out there with Turtelot, and Bragnott realized that if he threw that, perhaps it'd be intercepted. Didn't like his chances. I think, in my opinion, he certainly made the right decision. Just tuck it and run, get what you can, and now we got a long field goal attempt here.
Chris Souther, a 45-yard try.
He's got a big leg, too, I'll tell you, for a little guy.
Snap was high, and that one is very low and was almost blocked. That one never had a chance. The snap was high, and then you had a Homewood Patriot defender, a blocker, that almost got in the way as well. So Benjamin Russell able to hold on to its 3-point lead in Birmingham. Homewood tried to tie it up, but a high snap just started the confusion for the Patriots.
And I thought Wardle may have bobbled this. He's the holder. Yeah, he had a little bit of trouble, but you're right. It was high over his shoulder. And then that was kind of strange, too. I have no idea where Gerthard came from. And you're better at that last name than I am.
I wrote it down. Gerhard Mathengani came moving across to try to get a block, but instead almost got in the way. Homewood's trying to get somebody in the way of that man, Clay Harrelson. No matter how many times you practice that in the pregame, Gerhard Mathengani is just tough to come up with, but we'll look at the replay again on Harrelson's carry. That works.
Works for me anyway. Homewood had a chance to bring him down and had another tackler, missed tackle. That's 3 missed tackles on that play right there. And then Harrelson, of course, has those fine legs, and this young man is a fine runner, and he's proving that. 11 carries already for 77 yards, and we still have 5 minutes before halftime.
Harrelson, this time brought down on a nice play. Jake Galbraith trailing that one, the defensive lineman able to bring him down.
Well, Homewood needs to do more of that, Chris. They need to shoot through these gaps, maybe do a little bit more blitzing, because I think they've got it figured out that number 13 is going to be the key. Clay Harrelson, he's making this thing go for the Wildcat offense. But right now we're seeing them empty out the backfield, or all but they've got one back there, but they're going to probably throw this baby.
Triple stack to the left. Harrelson will look left. Instead, he's going to look deep and left. There's a defender there, but he can't come up with the interception. In coverage, Jared Simpson, the junior DB, 5'11", 165. He had the better chance than Eric Brock, who was the intended receiver on the play.
We're going to ice on the receiver, Eric Brock, who caught a touchdown in the first quarter. As a matter of fact, he caught it against Simpson. That fade in the end zone. That's a stop and go, but Simpson didn't bite on it. And as you said, Chris, he had a better shot at the interception than did Brock the reception.
Carl Martin, the defensive coordinator a year ago, now the head football coach and the man that really handles the offense for Benjamin Russell, wants a timeout to talk things over with a third down play upcoming. We'd like to thank the following stations for carrying this year's Alabama High School Super 6 Championships. Of course, the flagship right here in Birmingham, WABM, UPN 68. UPN 67 in Montgomery is WRJM. WHDF UPN 15 in Huntsville is our affiliate in the Rocket City. And down in the Port City of Mobile, WB 55, WBPG, proud affiliate of the Alabama High School Super 6 Championship games. Big thanks to the Redmont Crown Plaza in Birmingham, located in the city's historic district, providing the accommodations for the crew of the Super 6 television network. Our thanks to the Redmont Crown Plaza for providing a very nice place to rest for the folks who have worked so hard in the truck, on the cameras, and all the other behind-the-scenes work to make our broadcast possible. 106 of the 123 yards gained by Benjamin Russell tonight have come via Clay Harrelson. He's going to go with play action. He's looking for it all. He's looking for Brock. He's there, but it's broken up. Step for step, Nick Newell. The Benjamin Russell fans wanted pass interference. There was some contact, but the officials say that it was incidental, and no flags came flying in. We'll let you be the judge.
Well, Brock, last time he lined up on the left side and went against Simpson. This time they sent him down the right sidelines and he went against Newell. I think this is incidental contact, and he's just barely got a hand on him.
No.
The defender, I think, has as much right to the football. I think that's a real good play, and also a good play action fake, and then watch the lick after he lets the football go. And I'm talking about a big hit there by GM.
Gerhard Mathengani, phonetically able to get it out. The low punt will take a Benjamin Russell roll, and it is a good one. Harrelson handling the punting duties that time, able to roll it inside the 15 or to be downed at the 12-yard line.
Boy, isn't it funny how this game has changed from the first couple of minutes. Just like that, we had the 92-yard run. Just like that, we had Benjamin Russell on a nice sustained drive. They got a field goal. We saw a lot of early fireworks, but in these last 7 to 8, 9 minutes, we've seen some defense.
Well, the first play of the game did cover 92 yards. The next 9 have covered, the next 12 have only covered 9 yards for Homewood. So they need to get things going. How about giving it to number 48? It worked pretty well last time. It works again. Across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Brandon Thornton rumbling for 29 yards. He must have hurt us, Herb.
Oh, let's watch this. Let's watch a huge hole open up right in the middle. Watch these linemen right here. They're going to fire out. I mean, they're going to sustain their blocks right there, and then watch this. Man, that's some good blocking. Everybody's on the ground. That opens it up for Brandon Thornton, and this young man knows what to do with the football. He likes to head north and south. That's a big play for the Homewood Patriots offensively.
You love that high-tech Etch-a-Sketch they put in here for you, don't you?
I'm having fun with it.
Thornton again. Check that. It was not that kept it himself, and he is brought down back at the 40-yard line. The fake fooled me, but it did not fool the Wildcats as Martin led the charge for the Wildcats.
You know, that nice run a moment ago there by Brandon Thornton, number 56, the right guard, Adam Mathis, had a big block, and maybe that last name rings a bell for you there, Chris. His older brother, Evan Mathis, is the starting tackle for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Not a bad year that he had as a freshman. Second and a short 12. Not looking to throw. He does. Pass complete, but not a lot of yardage there, as on the receiving end was Freddie Young, but he was on the receiving end of a big-time hit from Shondell Rousseau. They give him a yard and a half, but no more. It'll be third and officially 11 yards needed for the first.
You know, I'm impressed with Rousseau. He's not terribly big, but he doesn't mind delivering a lick, I'll tell you that.
Homewood 0 for 4 in their previous third down attempts. Let's see what they do on number 5 right here. 4 wideouts in formation as Knott gets the signal from the sidelines. The senior quarterback with time, looking across the middle. He's got a man. It's complete at the 45-yard line. Daniel Turtelot, his 30th reception of the year. Over 360 yards, make it 374 now after that 14-yard pickup.
And let me tell you what made that play go. And that's the offensive line of Witten, Mathis, Horsley, Rogers, and Reed. All of whom did a nice job in protection there for their quarterback and allowing Bragg-Knott to have plenty of time to spot Turtelot across the middle and pick up a first down to keep the drive alive. 2:18 to go here before intermission.
You see those 3 wideouts to the top of your screen. McGarity is to the bottom, but they'll throw it to the right side. Freddie Young, the quick catch out of bounds. He got 3, maybe 4 yards before being bumped on the play by Brent Dye.
This Brent Dye, as we see him, number 6 here, he can do it all. Field goal, he kicks off for this team. He plays defensive back. He leads the team in interceptions with 7. Quite an athlete, this young man.
Not perfect on the evening throwing the football. Not a lot of yardage, but he has not thrown an incompletion as of yet. 5 plays, 45 yards, 2 minutes plus covered on this drive as we near the 2-minute mark of the half. On the slant, broke it up nicely. Big-time play by Clint Harrelson, the twin brother of the quarterback for the Wildcats. Clay Harrelson, about a minute apart. With the twins both making big plays here in this football game for the Wildcats.
Bragg-Knott, he really put some steam on this, but Harrelson, he was looking right at the eyes of the quarterback. Bragg was lucky to get that one back.
Hit him in the worst place possible, right in the hands. You see the time on the Mountain Dew scoreboard in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. As the Patriots have 3rd and 7. Not near side. Turtelot inside the 35. They will spot him down there. Again, Rousseau able to make the stop, but Daniel Turtelot, second highest number of receptions on this team, second only to Freddie Young, coming into tonight's game as we look at it again.
Yeah, this is just that little slip screen. You'll see him just cut back inside, and those kind of plays are designed for an individual effort. And what they're hoping is the receiver's going to, break away from a defensive back, pick up some good yardage, which it worked there for Homewood. This is our 3rd measurement of the first half. We said there'd be a lot of these tonight.
You should have sold sponsorship on this thing.
Not a bad idea, by the way. You know me, I would do it.
You would. That's why I deferred to you. Sandy Stewart in the truck, nodding her head. Yes, let's do that. Very short
For those that don't know, Sandy, the general manager of our flagship station, WABN UPN 68. She and her husband Bill are here tonight taking in this wonderful environment, great atmosphere. This truly, folks, is what high school football is all about. A huge crowd out here tonight at Legion Field, and they got to love the weather. And he's going for it, and I'm not surprised.
4th and a couple inches needed for the first down. Benjamin Russell tried it, 4th about this long. Bad exchange, gave the football over on downs back to Homewood. We'll see what type of success the Patriots have in a similar situation. And Bragnott wants a timeout. You don't want to make a mistake here. Only 1:28 to go in the half. You're down by just 3. And you'll remember a year ago, Homewood trailed at the half. They spent really an entire 2.5 quarters before they really got anything going offensively. And then both teams started trading punches over the remainder of that contest, as well as, of course, all 5 overtimes. This is day 2 of the Super 6 championships at Legion Field. Yesterday, Reeltown picked up the first championship of the weekend as they walked right past Notasulga, 46-6. Joe Matt Cutcherson, a great game to lead the way for Reeltown. And then last night, game that Herb and I were able to call, UMS Wright giving Terry Curtis his first win as a head coach in a state championship game. The Bulldogs knocking off Cleveland County 28-12. We've already had one championship game from today and a bit of a surprise. The Green Wave of Gordo knocking off Leroy 14-7. You and Matt Coulter had the call on that game, which was a true defensive struggle in every sense of the word.
Boy, and 2 totally different offenses in that first game versus what we're seeing here in this second game. A lot of power running in that first game here. It's wide open, but they'll close it down here to pick up the first down.
Power eye set, but they're going to go to the air. The pass is complete. Turtelot inside the 26-yard line. It will be a first down. Talk about rolling the dice. You need 2 inches to go for the first down, and they throw it. But it works, and Homewood moves the chains.
And if my eyes are not deceiving me, and I think they're pretty good, that ball was deflected, and Turtelot still found a way to come up with it. Oh, my, what a big play for Homewood as the drive continues, as we've got 1 minute and 15 seconds to go here before intermission.
Not 7 of 8 as he rolls, looking to throw again. He's got a man. It's complete. At the 15, Turtelot once again making the reception. Again, they will move the change and stop the clock while they do so. And again, he's fighting one of his favorite targets in number 86.
Nearly deflected again, but Brent Dye, that young man we've talked about several times, he has to come in and make the stop, but not before the change move again. And Homewood still has plenty of time because they've got exactly 1 minute to go here before the half.
4th catch, 43 yards. You got Turtelot to the bottom of your screen, joining 3 others in formation for Knott, who is looking back to the right. He's got a lot of running room. If he chooses to run it, he's going to throw it instead. That one was deflected, and that may have been a huge mistake on Bragnott's part, but he got away with it as it was broken up again by Shondell Rousseau. It's always dangerous for a quarterback to throw back across his body. There were 2 Wildcats there waiting that almost came away with a pick.
You were right about that, Chris. He goes left here. He's trying to avoid the rush, and he sees he can come back to the right side. He gets a good block here. And you're right, throwing back across a quarterback's body is one of the hardest throws there is because you just can't get a lot of mustard on it. And especially, you need to throw off your back foot, and it's hard to do when you're trying to throw back.
Toller and Rousseau were there, but the Wildcats twice now have dropped interceptions on this drive that were in their hands. And Homewood, for the second time on this drive, will use a timeout.
That'll leave them with 1, I believe, and apparently they saw something they didn't like defensively out of the Wildcats, so Bob Newton has decided he wants to talk it over.
Here's the 4th down play again. Earlier on this drive, they had 4th and a couple of inches. They decide to go to the air, and let's see if it was deflected. It was.
And
twice.
Twice. Not once, but twice. I think Martin got a hand on it, and I know that number 21, Roderick Daniel, also got a finger nail on it, but it wasn't deflected once, but twice.
10-play drive already. Primarily doing the job through the air. Not 6 of 8 on this drive alone. Thornton with room at the 3-yard line. He will be brought down. That's a first down. and they will stop the clock to move the chains with 35 seconds to go.
Well, that's important to point out. And, you know, they go with the no huddle all the time, so this is something they're used to at Homewood. But I can't say enough about that young sophomore, Brandon Thornton. Did you see him drag some tacklers with him all the way down inside the 3-yard line?
That's another break for Homewood, as Benjamin Russell will now take a timeout to make sure they're set defensively as we look at the play again.
Just a simple handoff over left tackle, and watch this young man. He runs over Toller. Big drive in his legs, young sophomore. He's got a tremendous future there at Homewood High School.
The drive in his legs and the strength in his arms as well, because Ty Martin was trying to strip the football free from Brandon Thornton. 133 yards on 7 carries. Of course, when one of those goes for 92 yards, that will certainly help the average.
It'll help it in a hurry. You know, he only weighs a little over 170, but he runs much bigger than his size.
Run through the 2001 schedule, undefeated. They're 14-0, trying to make it 15-0 here tonight. First and goal from the 3 with 35 seconds to go. Thornton is your lone setback as Bragg Knott works from the shotgun. Knott will keep it himself, but he won't go anywhere. Great play made by Rod Daniel. The sophomore linebacker was not fooled at all, and Homewood now will have to burn their final timeout.
Well, I'm sure that the offensive coaches for Homewood felt like, well, we'll fake it to Brandon, and Bragg Knott then will go around to the left side. But Brandon, as we said, Bragg Knott, he is not the runner that Parker Gargis is. He has showed that right there. And you see that the play was made here by Benjamin Russell. A nice effort by Roderick Daniel, as he was not fooled at all. He did what he is coached to do, and that is stay at home. Look at him. He never moves. He doesn't bite on the fake. And then, of course, he's able to track down Bragg Knott. Good play.
And you may be right. History does look as though it could repeat itself. We were tied at the end of the first quarter. These two teams always seem to be tied when they meet each other.
Two well-coached football teams, I can tell you that.
Some great athletes on the field. A different look now with 4 wideouts in formation. Knott looking to throw. He's got a man. And a loose football. Will they say it's down? Yes, they will. Houston Wordle was the receiver who was not down, and they're going to have to hurry as the clock continues to tick. It's 3rd down. They can spike it if they would like, but they've got to hurry.
Better hurry.
He will spike it to stop the clock.
Well, Bragg Knott was wanting the football, and the official didn't want to give it to him.
Swami Herb Winches could be right, as they will come on and try the field goal.
Tries to throw it out here to Wordle. Wordle turns upfield, but Toller is right there. That's close right there. That's very close. But the official said down by contact, and of course the ground cannot cause a fumble.
I don't think the ground did. I think the player's helmet did, but nonetheless, Chris Suter, who missed on a 45-yard attempt, will try now from 20. This kick looks much better. It's true, and Herb Winches was right. We will be tied at 10. We are tied at 10. It's halftime. 0 in the season for these same Homewood Patriots. 18-15. Chris Suter kicking off. Dye again fielding it at his 3. Across the 20, he is brought down. Nice job by the Patriots leading the charge. D'Angelo Perry for Homewood, but still pretty good field position for Clay Harrelson and the Benjamin Russell Wildcats. You see the throwing numbers, not the best for Clay Harrelson. Not really indicative, though, of the job he did. It was on the ground where he was so effective in the first half of play.
Yeah, surprisingly, because he is an outstanding passer. He's thrown for over 2,200 yards this season, but most of the damage that he did in the first half was via the run. 12
carries, 479 yards. Dr. Digits, Ken Dunlap again providing those numbers for us, as there's very little running room up the gut for Ty Martin on first down. Got back to the line of scrimmage. Actually, just missed by a couple of inches getting back to the line, as again the Patriots able to get a strong play from Jake Galbraith leading the charge.
You know, Chris, the first 5 minutes of the second half is so important for both teams, because that's what we're going to find out as far as the adjustments they made in the locker room at halftime. So keep an eye on the first 5 minutes.
From the shotgun on 2nd and 11. They try to swing it out to Martin again, but that one was read perfectly by Homewood's defense. The closest man to the football was wearing a white jersey. That was Taylor Barker, the defensive back. But also pretty good play by Jim Patton defensively for the Patriots as Carl Martin looking for win number 13 in his first year as the head football coach at Benjamin Russell. Several years a highly successful defensive coordinator, but now the head man, and what a wonderful job he has done in his first season in Alexander City. Third and slightly more than 10. Looking for it all. Dye is out there, but it's picked off. The interception by Nick Newell, the junior defensive back, gets the pick, and it will be Homewood football at their own 45-yard line.
Well, we're going to ISO here on Dye. He just runs a very simple fly pattern, and you see Newell, great defense, and he was all over him in the first half, and he just makes the right turn. He looks back, and I got to tell you, it looked like that ball got away from Harrelson a little bit. It almost sort of slipped when he let it go.
It did, and he read the quarterback perfectly. There wasn't much of a fake, and so you saw the man turn and run that time, Nick Newell, instead of having to backpedal. This time, they'll hand it off to Brandon Thornton. His first play of the first half. Pretty successful, 92 yards. That one was snuffed out in a hurry, though.
And we just mentioned turnovers. That's their third turnover here of the ball game. None for Homewood. We'll see if Homewood can take advantage of some outstanding field position. And yet another Wildcat turnover.
Clint Harrelson, the man that made the stop of Thornton for a 1-yard loss. So starting at quarterback here in the second half, Parker Gargis. He, along with Bragg-Knott, have led the Patriots to a 14-0 mark thus far. To the air, complete. Young at the 40-yard line of Benjamin Russell. That will be a first down. And that was a tough pass to make, but he was able to thread the needle.
And I want to tell you, this is from our highest camera. We call it the All-22, and that looks like a frozen rope going down the sidelines. What a nice pass there by the junior quarterback from Homewood.
So with 1st and 10 from the Wildcat 40-yard line, Gargis will keep it himself. Trying to work his way through the pile. Somehow was able to squirt free to the 33-yard line. It will be 2nd and about 3. Clint Harrelson making his second stop of the second half defensively for Benjamin Russell.
This is a down and distance that Homewood loves to put its offense in. 2nd and short. They can do so many things because they do have so many weapons.
Gargis with the audible, it appears, at the line of scrimmage. Keeping it himself. Got leveled and still kept his feet. Roderick Daniels, the man that hit him first, and stood him straight up, but he wasn't able to wrap up on the play. Actually, I believe it was Martin that hit him first, and didn't wrap up, and Gargis showing his leg strength, able to move all the way to the 27.
This reminds me of last year when Gargis sort of took over the ball game in the late stages. This young man is such an outstanding competitor, and that comes from his genes. His father, Phil Gargis, was a terrific quarterback years ago at Auburn, and his son is as tough as his dad was.
With a tight end to the left and one to the right. Gargis again will work from the shotgun. Thornton may have gotten to the line of scrimmage before Clint Harrelson hit him again, but he'll get no further than a half yard. The Wildcat defense, tremendous on the year, allowing right at 11 points per game. Homewood scoring on average better than 36 per contest. Their defense obviously outstanding as well. You don't win 25 straight games without a good defense. They are allowing fewer than 13 points per contest. On 2nd and 9, Gargis to throw. The pump fake, he's got Young wide open to the back of the end zone, but he overthrew him. Young had a step and a half on a couple of defensive backs for Benjamin Russell, but that one was just overthrown.
Well, this is what makes this young man so dangerous. A little pump fake, and then he spots wide open in the back of the end zone. Freddie Young, as you said, and just overthrew him. I think he got a little bit excited. He saw an opening there and felt he could get it to him, but he overthrew him.
Statham and Young go to the left side to join Turtelite as Gargis faces 3rd and 9. He'll keep it himself. Quarterback draw. He will be close to the first down, but I don't believe he got it. It's going to be about a half-yard shy based on the spot. Again, Shondell Rousseau, the senior linebacker, making the hit. As we'll look at it once again.
And this is a design play. It's a quarterback draw. He takes 2 steps back, wide up the middle. He gets a terrific block there by David Adams, the big offensive lineman, the sophomore for Homewood, and that enables him to pick up 9 and nearly a half yards on the play, so they're going for it on 4th down.
David Horsley also a great block downfield for the Patriots on that play. 4th and about a foot. Working from the gun again, quarterback keep. He will get the first down and more. You don't see that very often. Snap it to the quarterback out of the shotgun and then get a running start and pick up the first down.
A quarterback sneak from the shotgun. You're right. Very rare, but very effective for Homewood. And this drive continues after the miscue by the Wildcats throwing the interception.
They sent Thornton ahead to run interference, and Gargis had all the room he needed for the first down. On 1st and 10 from the 15, Thornton trying to get outside, nothing doing. Again, Ty Martin making the hit as the Wildcat defense throws Homewood for another loss.
Well, Benjamin Russell continues to stunt Ty Martin, their outstanding senior linebacker. Once again makes yet another big play as he just shoots right through the gap. Nobody there to pick him up, and he makes a tackle for a loss on the play.
His 7th tackle on the night. 10th play of the drive upcoming. 2nd down. 13 yards needed for the first. They've got to get to the 5 to move the chains as Young catches it at the 15. He will stretch to the 10-yard line before being brought down by Brent Dye. 3rd and 5 upcoming from there.
You'll see it again, just a quick out. Freddie Young, these kind of plays are designed just to get on one-on-one coverage. And you see quickly the Wildcats, they close on it in a hurry. Brent Dye, we've called his name out time and time again. He has been on a lot of plays along with Eric Brock.
So 3rd and 5 from the 10-yard line as Young goes to the top of your screen. And Turtelite now will go in motion to the top as well. Gargis keeping it himself. Trying to get to the first down mark. He didn't get there. Gets knocked out of bounds by Ryan Benson at the 7-yard line. It will be 4th and 2 from there. So do you call on Souther to kick it as we look at the 3rd down try again?
He is bounced out of bounds and about 2 yards short of the first down. I'm guessing, yep, they will go for the field goal to try to take the lead here. And they have eaten up most of this 3rd quarter on some sustained drives as Homewood.
They had some huge kicks last year in this 5A championship between the two teams. Chris Souther has made one already. He's 1 of 2. This kick is up. This kick is perfect. And Homewood has gone on top. 13-10, the Patriots back in the lead in the 5A state championship game from Legion Field. Along with Herb Winches, I'm Chris Stewart, back with you at Legion Field in Birmingham. 5 minutes, 35 seconds left to go in this 3rd quarter. 24-yard field goal by Chris Souther, his 2nd field goal of the night, giving the Patriots of Homewood a 13-10 advantage over the Benjamin Russell Wildcats as Souther will kick off once again. And once again, Brent Dye will field it at the 10. Looking for room, 25, a flag on the play as he trips across the 29-yard line. A 2nd flag has come in as well, and we'll let them sort this one out.
Well, it's usually against the receiving team. I'm guessing clipping on the play, and that's going to really get them started off in a deep hole here to start this offensive possession.
Not a large number of plays for Homewood in the first half. 27. That drive alone covered 12. Blocking below the knees, hit below the knees, I should say, against Homewood as Patriots came flying in a little bit low. The signal from Slay Stevens, our referee.
Blocking below the waist, the kicking team, first down.
Roger Schultz, the third member of our broadcast crew, down on the sidelines tonight. Roger?
I tell you what's interesting when you get these neighborhood rivalries and these battles. You got number 55 out there, Michael Lord. His mother was my first grade teacher at Hawken Elementary School. Boy, I'm getting old.
You are, and not exactly a ringing endorsement for the teaching skills of Miss Lord, but, you know, it's not her fault after first grade, right? On the slant, they're trying to go to Dye. He collided with Nick Newell, but there's no flag. Dye thought certainly that would be called pass interference, and it looked as though his progress toward the football was impeded. We'll look again and see what you think, Herb.
Well, let's watch it closely here. He just drives right back in the inside.
It wasn't a big hit, but
no,
he definitely shielded off.
Yeah, he shielded, he impeded. I think that probably should have been a call made by the official.
Second down and 10. They haven't missed many. I'm not saying they did there, but I think we're in a little bit of disagreement as Harrelson works his way into Homewood territory at the 49-yard line.
Let's watch it again here. We're going to put a little telestrator on it, and you'll see Dye. I'm trying to spot him here on which side he's on. I think this is him right here. He's going to go right down on the inside. Let's watch him very closely. No, that's not Dye there. He's coming from the other side.
That's the most recent play.
No, that's the recent play. That's not the play we were looking for there, so we'll just forget about that one altogether. My bad.
Shake up the Etch-a-Sketch. Get it ready for the next one. Third down and 2, we'll call it, with the clock ticking at 4:40. Harrelson looking for the air, looking for Dye, and that one is incomplete. He ran to the inside, and the pass came to his outside shoulder. And if there was contact, I think it may have been initiated by Dye himself on that play, but it does fall incomplete. Brent Dye has done a little bit of everything tonight. So is that man.
Well,
Clay
Dye
Harrelson.
he's the real go-to guy when they throw the ball down the field. And I'll tell you what I'm a little surprised about. Number 17, Jeremy Toller, he's also come up big for this team. He's got over 24 catches on the year, but I don't think he's caught the first pass tonight. I'm a little surprised about that, but Wildcats punting again after getting the break on the kickoff. The penalty against Homewood.
Harrelson to punt. And this one will roll inside the 10-yard line of Homewood. Actually, they'll spot it at the 11. That's where it was touched. But the Patriots have the lead and the football with 4:26 to go in the third quarter of this 5A state title game in Birmingham. To agree with those thoughts, Herb, this is a good situation for Homewood, but a bad place to be backed up inside your own 11. Vargas keeping it himself, stretching that football, which is kind of a dangerous thing there at the last moment. Ty Martin making another stop for the Wildcats.
Well, I think this is very critical now for the Wildcats of Benjamin Russell. Remember, they're only trailing by 3. We got 4 minutes here exactly to play in the third period. They've got Homewood backed up deep in their own territory. You don't want to let them out. You want to force the punt here. If you can get a turnover, I mean, that's even all the better. But if you can't, at least you want to try to get some better field position. They have not had good field position here in the entire second half. So they're looking for that is Benjamin Russell.
Gargas wanting to throw. Got a man. It's caught. Great catch. Houston Wortley. 5'8", 145. Wortley able to make the grab. And that's very close. In fact, it is enough for the first down.
Let's watch this again. That is a great grab by Houston Wortley. And it was deflected yet again. But he hung in there, showed some good concentration. And he nabs another one to keep the drive going. So Homewood gets out of jail just a little bit.
Patriots doing a much better job in the third quarter moving it than they did in the second. Thornton getting the carry there. may not have seen it on that replay, but while he's had a great game rushing the football, a Super 6 record already, and we haven't even completed 3 quarters, he delivered a great block on the end that cleared a nice path for Gargis to throw the football to Wortley for the first down. Doesn't just run it well, even though he has run it awfully well this evening. 11 carries, over 130 yards, but we'll have a flag backing this one up just a bit for Homewood.
And I just happen to have my glasses on John Baker Witten, and he jumped the gun, the right guard for Homewood, and that's going to be an illegal procedure on the Patriots.
These two squads have played 4 times in the past 31 games. Each squad has won twice.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, second down.
Benjamin Russell won the first 2 meetings. Homewood, the 2 most recent clashes, as you see the penalty numbers. Of course, last year, 5 overtimes, a Homewood win, and then the 2 squads met again just a few months later in the season opener. Another single overtime game won by the Patriots, 18-15. On 2nd and 12, Gargis will be brought down. Another sack by the Benjamin Russell defense. Ty Martin was there, along with Scott Fuller, a 12-yard loss on the play.
Boy, this young man is something special. He has lived in the Homewood backfield most of the evening. Here he gets loose again. Nobody picks him up. He comes in virtually untouched, and you don't want to turn him loose because he'll make the sure-handed tackle. He wraps up Gargis for a huge loss. Now, this is a great spot here for Benjamin Russell if they can hold Homewood, and it's a quick kick.
It is a quick kick, and it's an awful kick. That one takes a Benjamin Russell bounce. It will be down at the 16-yard line. Gargis rushed the kick. It's only traveled 7 yards. And Benjamin Russell in great field position.
And so the coaching staff is asking questions here.
Yeah, Homewood trying to catch Benjamin Russell off guard. That's their regular punter, but look, the ball just went straight up in the air.
Yeah, costly mistake, and I understand the reasoning behind it because Benjamin Russell had nobody back. You punt on 3rd down, and you feel like you get him in a little bit of a hole, but it didn't work.
So a break for the Wildcats. Can they take advantage? Harrelson inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. That's almost as big as a fumble. It won't go down as a turnover, but it might as well be.
I think you're exactly right, Chris. It won't be a fumble, won't be an interception, but it was a costly mistake, and Bob Newton knows it as he's watching his defense try to hold them together here. Benjamin Russell, this is a great opportunity for the Wildcats to take the lead.
They got Eric Brock to the top of your screen. He caught a touchdown pass in a similar area in the first quarter. Instead, they'll give it to the deep man as he rumbles inside the 5 near the 3-yard line. Another big carry from Raymond Hurd, the senior running back, 6 feet 190. So Benjamin Russell trailing, as you see on the Mountain Dew scoreboard, by 3, trying to regain the lead as the clock ticks under 1:17 here in the 3rd. Harrelson, despite a couple of miscues, has been very, very good in this football game. He'll keep it himself. He'll get to the goal line. He's in. Touchdown, Wildcats.
Benjamin Russell did exactly what you're supposed to do. A mistake by Homewood as they were going for the 3rd down quick kick. It was off the side of the foot for Gargis. They got great field position, and just a couple of plays later, they made Homewood pay for it. And now suddenly they've got a chance to take the lead here in Dew at coming up on 17-13.
Dye on to try the extra point. An important extra point. And a perfect extra point try right into the UPN 68 logo, the flagship for the Super 6 television network. Clay Harrelson now with 13 rushing touchdowns to go with 22 passing scores on the year.
It's just a simple option as he faked a Hurd, and he's done this all evening long, and he's done it very successful. And if you want to know what led to this touchdown and the lead, it is this mistake here. A good idea, but the bad execution. Punt probably didn't go more than 8 or 10 yards. And look where the Wildcats get the ball inside the 20-yard line. And that could be the difference in this football game, Chris. Of course, I realize we still have a minute and a third and 12 minutes in the fourth quarter to play, but it could be a big, big difference.
I started to say, have you forgotten who's playing in this game? It is Homewood and Benjamin Russell. A minute 5 to go in the third quarter. It is an eternity. But it is somewhat noteworthy. It's a 4-point difference, not 3 points, where a field goal would tie it. We're on sort of an odd number right now. Carl Martin looking for his first state championship as a head coach. The first state championship also, this one could be for Benjamin Russell High School. They've never won a state crown. Homewood, under Bob Newton, has won 2 state titles. In 1995, his team defeated Blunt in the rain at Homewood, the last year of playing the 5 lower division championship games on the local campuses, matching a 1974 state title won by the school. They now have 3 state crowns, looking for their 4th here tonight, but they'll have to come from behind if they are to do just that.
Hey, boy.
Clay Harrelson on the sidelines receiving congratulations from his teammates to put him ahead in this game with a minute 5 to go in the third. Think about it here in the third quarter now. Homewood got the interception, but it only resulted in a field goal. Homewood mishandled the punt, bad punt there. They take advantage of it. They get a touchdown, and there's your difference. They lead it by 4.
In the rotation, it's Bragg Knott's turn to take over at quarterback. Thornton barely able to get to the line of scrimmage. Ty Martin again, the first man to greet him.
Boy, how many tackles has he had tonight?
He's had 8, I believe. Maybe 9 now with that last hit. But it has truly been feast or famine for Homewood on offense. It's either been the big play or nothing at all for this squad tonight. 2nd and 10. Knott looking and overthrowing the intended receiver, Daniel Turtelite. They went to number 86 several times late in the second quarter, setting up a field goal from Chris Souther that tied the game at 10. They really haven't looked in his direction very often since then.
I got to tell you, I've really been watching closely number 10 for the Wildcats, Eric Brock. He leads his team with an interception, 7 coming into this game tonight. But this young man has really played big. Not only has he been on a number of tackles, but he has really done a great job in guarding against the Homewood wide receiver.
You saw the 3rd down conversion attempt. That pass complete to Young. Fighting for yardage, but he won't get to the 1st down mark. Brought down at the 29-yard line, as I believe Toller was there for the hit, along with, again, Clint Harrelson, the twin brother of the quarterback for the Wildcats, Clay Harrelson. 3 quarters are in the books. We have 12 minutes left, perhaps more, to determine the Class 5A state champion. The Wildcats lead the Patriots in Birmingham. Well, we're not the only crew broadcasting tonight's game. We are the only live television broadcast, but for many years, the city of Homewood, on their local cable access channel, has been able to provide a tape delay broadcast of Patriot games. Barry Copeland, the man in the sweater, center of your screen, the man that handles the play-by-play, but they use dads that volunteer their time to work the cameras and also helping with the announcing crew, and it's been a real fixture in the city of Homewood for many years.
They do it with 3 cameras and do it very successfully, and Barry Copeland, an old friend of mine, used to be the news director at Channel 13, so he does know something about broadcasting.
He does very well, too, as the illegal procedure penalty will not look good on those pictures next week on Homewood Cable, but Bob Newton.
I think Bob has to...
Dead ball, false start on the offense. 4th down.
I think Bob really has to be concerned here. His team they just didn't look sharp here in the last couple of series. The punting mistake a moment ago, they've been caught off sides a couple of times, illegal procedure. They got called on a play, on a kickoff. Just some silly penalties, really.
Dargis punting this one and lets it hit, and then wisely gets away from it as it rolls dead inside the 40-yard line. Homewood in the first half averaged starting their drives at their own 29-yard line. In the second half, not much difference. In fact, a little bit worse at their own 28. Benjamin Russell, though, has had the better go of it, though, in terms of field position, starting at their own 41 in the first half. But in the second half, their drives on average have started right at midfield.
And I think that important time of possession has really shifted their side. And I think the momentum of this football game has shifted to the side of the red shirts.
Time of possession, though, has been dominated by Homewood by almost 7.5 minutes. Harrelson keeping it himself, getting near midfield and near another Benjamin Russell first down.
Boy, he's just ripping off chunks of big yardage. And that Homewood has not found a way yet to stop that quarterback running that option. And it looks so simple. I mean, he's not doing anything fancy. It's kind of a half-hearted fake, and then he just takes it right up the middle. Very similar to a play that Homewood runs in their offense. But boy, he has just had a big night against this Homewood defense, as Clay Harrelson.
Is enough for the first down. Just inside their own half of the field. And on the carry, not finding much running room, was Raymond Hurd, as Jake Galbraith makes the stop, able to wrap him up. Gain of a yard, maybe a yard and a half at the most. But 2nd and 9 upcoming for the Wildcats, who have not only the score on their side, but field position as well, as we mentioned. A great year for Jake Galbraith, 75 tackles, the 6 sacks, also very impressive as well. And that's going to be offsides on Homewood.
Another mistake.
Harley Sanders got in the neutral zone. In high school football, you cannot cross the neutral zone. It's a 5-yard penalty. You can cross the line in college football, but if you don't make contact or if your encroachment doesn't draw the other team off sides,
Encroachment, defense, 2nd down.
forcing the offense into an illegal procedure, then you can get back, but not so in high school football.
Well, the penalties beginning to really pile up on Homewood now. 5 for 57. Benjamin Russell, they played relatively penalty-free, just 2 for 10 yards.
So now 2nd down. And about 3.5 needed as Hurd may have gotten a yard, but again, finding the going very tough. Right up the gut. So now 3rd down. And long 2.
You would expect Benjamin Russell now is they're going to be paying a little bit more attention to the clock. We're at 10 minutes and counting. They're sitting on a 4-point lead, 17-13. They're not in any big hurry. They obviously would like to convert on this 3rd down possession to keep the drive going and to keep the ball away from Homewood's offense.
Hurd gets the carry again. Actually, I'm sorry, Ty Martin able to move the pile. And he does have enough for the first down. It was Ty Martin getting the first down, and he got some good blocking up front.
Yeah, let's mention center Parks Geddes. You got Neil Ross and Jeremy Meade, Gavin Caldwell, and left tackle Just Richardson, all doing a nice job along that offensive front there for Benjamin Russell. And have you noticed this, though, Chris? The number 23, Ty Martin, not only has he come up big on defense, he's going both ways, but he's getting stronger as the game wears on.
Kind of a scary thought. Certainly for the folks wearing white. The Homewood Patriots seeing number 23 come at them from both sides as that play was broken up before it ever got started. Great pursuit. Harley Sanders leading the charge, also there to help out Jim Patton defensively for the Patriots. But now's the time where Homewood's defense is going to have to come up, as they have many times this year.
And watch number 41, Taylor Barker. He's coming off the corner. He also was in on the stop, and that's what Homewood's got to do more of. That's the only way I think they're going to be able to slow down the running of Clay Harrelson. They've got to send some players off the corner, and that time the corner blitz worked just fine.
Didn't give Barker enough credit. He was actually the first man there defensively. Forces him to a 2nd and 11 now from the shotgun. Keeping it himself, Harrelson shakes free from one man, gets to the 34-yard line, almost to the 33 before being stopped. And one of the biggest 3rd downs in this football game upcoming. It will be 3rd and 5 for the Wildcats.
Once again, Clay Harrelson, it's been all his show this entire second half. A missed tackle there by Homewood's number 88, Jim Patton, who's really played a fine ball game. He had a grab at him, but a missed tackle, and that allowed Harrelson to pick up another 3 or 4 yards on the play and put him in a manageable situation. It is 3rd and about 5.
12, make that 18 carries, on the night, 115 yards. And this time Harrelson wants to throw, and he does. It's complete inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. You asked where number 17, Jeremy Toller, has been. There he is on the receiving end of a huge first down pass. It didn't come easy, though, as we'll hear from ground level.
Oh, they're popping some pads out there tonight.
But the hit came after the fact. Toller picking up the first down.
And his first reception of the night. One of the leading receivers on this team. We've not heard much out of him.
25 catches now on the year for Toller. He also has 7 touchdowns. Harrelson on the keeper. Inside the 25 to the 22-yard line. It's kind of amazing. You look at this last year. Homewood's offense got revved up in the second half. But tonight, it's Benjamin Russell who's able to move the football more effectively in these third and now the fourth quarter.
And I haven't seen the latest stat on that time of possession, but I assure you it's catching up now in favor of Benjamin Russell. This is another long, sustained drive. And if they can convert some points, you got to think the Homewood defense has been out there quite a bit this half. And it looks to me they're growing just a little bit weary.
On 2nd and 5, Harrelson again keeping it. Same play, similar result. Loose football, but they're going to mark it down, I believe, back at the 19-yard line. 3rd and a yard upcoming. Tension building in the Homewood coach's box. The assistants looking on in agony. Of course, you can't tell much difference from the Homewood side and the Benjamin Russell side. Anxious moments here after being so close so many times. Carl Martin's Benjamin Russell Wildcats and that man, Bob Newton's Homewood Patriots, won't take anything for granted until the final horn sounds.
Another measurement upcoming.
Brought to you by Herb Winches and Associates.
It's our 4th. I don't know why I'm keeping up with such a stupid stat, but it's the 4th measurement of the game.
You picked it early that it would happen, and you're right. The 10th play of the drive is upcoming, but just as important, Herb, leading by 4 points, Benjamin Russell has kept the football for just under 5 minutes here in this fourth quarter.
Well, that's how you win championships, not only by keeping the football, but also converting some points.
3rd and a foot. See if Harrelson calls his own number again, as he has on the last 2 plays. He will, and he'll move the pile, and he'll move the chains. It's another Benjamin Russell first down. And now the Homewood side not only looking at the scoreboard, they're also looking at that clock, which is at 6:51 to go.
Better exchange this time between Harrelson and his center, and he stretches it out. He didn't even need to do that. He made the first down easily. So now it is first down, and the ball is sitting at the 17-yard line. Homewood needs to at least hold them to a field goal in this drive to have a chance.
The give up the middle. Ty Martin to the 11. Taylor Baggett, the junior defensive back, 6 feet 160, making actually what looked like a touchdown saving stop for the Patriots.
Yeah, I think you're right. Once again, I point out that Ty Martin just gets stronger as the game. That's a little backflip there, a little head over heels, if you will.
Well, he's smart. He hit him low. Don't try to take that guy on head up, or more often than not, you'll lose the battle. 2nd and 4, though, after the 6-yard gain. Harrelson keeping it himself, getting inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Brandon Thornton set a new Super 6 record with 133 yards for the entire game in the first half, but this man's going to catch him, it looks like.
Well, let's just watch. This is very simple. He just got the lineman firing out, and it's just the old quarterback keeper. He'll just stay right behind his line. Watch this. Right side, and I'll tell you, the line really did a nice job in scraping down, and that really opened it up there for Harrelson. He nearly got himself a touchdown, but once again, want to mention those big guys up there in the middle, Geddes, Rawspeed, and Caldwell.
Benjamin Russell trying to build on their lead in Birmingham. First and goal from the 5-yard line for the Benjamin Russell Wildcats. They lead Homewood by 4. This one could seal the deal on the Wildcats' first ever state title if they can score, but they won't do it here. Ty Martin leveled as he nears the 5-yard line again. The stop made by Taylor Barker, the junior defensive back, again stepping up to make the play for the Patriots.
He has really made 2 big plays defensively on this particular drive. Let's look at this young man again. He's playing on the outside on a corner, and he just crashes down. And as he crashes down, he sees Ty Martin, and he sticks the hat right in the midsection. A good stop there.
He and Mark Longworth, number 46, were there to combine on the stop. 14th play of the drive upcoming. It has covered more than 6 minutes, and a crucial penalty called on Benjamin Russell. Too many men in the huddle. Illegal participation, the call, and that will back them up, and Carl Martin is furious with his football team. A huge mental mistake.
Substitution infraction on the offense, 2nd down.
You can't have 12 men in the huddle, and that's what happened.
And you said it right. That is a mental mistake by the Wildcats. There they were driving for what apparently could have been the game-winning touchdown to put it out of reach, would have put them up by 11, and now suddenly they got themselves in a situation, 2nd and goal.
All the way back now outside the 10. Harrelson lets 2 men go by, and then he will follow that same path, but for a gain of just 3. It will be 3rd and goal from there. And we'll watch it again on the Toyota replay as you had just 12 men in there. We'll let you do the counting. Carl Martin's trying to get a timeout called before the flag was thrown. You could see it there at the bottom, Herb, but he couldn't get it called in time.
And that was the guilty party right there. Cannot break the huddle with 12. Okay, Chris, we've already set it up once. This is a must for Homewood. If you're a Benjamin Russell fan, you want to see them get in the end zone. You feel like they're going to win the first state championship, if indeed they do. If you're a Homewood fan, if they stop them here, they should hold them to a field goal. That puts it on 7.
Guy is the wide receiver to the near side of the field. Jeremy Toller is the wide out to the top of your screen, but they'll pitch it to the deep man. Martin at the 5. He is knocked down at the 3-yard line.
I'm going to let you play coach. What would you do? You've got them, if you don't make a touchdown here, you've got Homewood pinned very deep, where they'd have to go about 97 yards in 4 minutes, less than 4 now. Or do you kick the field goal and put it on 7? What do you do, Coach Stewart?
I won't play coach. I will play script writer. It's Homewood and Benjamin Russell, so you've got to kick the field goal to put it at 7, which means Homewood ties it and we got overtime again, right?
That's
Maybe.
right.
Ty Martin, I believe, is the injured player on the field. Can't tell for certain. Yes, it is number 23. And he has gone both ways tonight. Herb talked about it, and favoring that left shoulder. 8 carries, 34 yards, but those numbers really don't tell the story of how effective he has been on offense.
Well, if I'm Coach Martin, with him having to come to the sidelines and come out of the game for one play because of the injury, there's no hesitation now. I put Dye in, I kick the field goal, I take my chances up by 7 with 3:45 or less to go, especially with Martin on the sidelines, and he'll have to stay out for this one play.
But I don't see the holder in the game for Brent Dye, and he's not in the game. They're going to be 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen, Dye and Toller, with the eye set behind the quarterback, and we've got a flag on the play. And the decision could be made for Carl Martin. Delay of game. They took too long getting the decision made, but really, all in all, not that bad. It will basically now force Benjamin Russell to kick the field goal.
Well, they've already thrown the tee in from the sideline, the kicking tee, so Brent Dye will kick the field goal attempt here. And by no means, I mean, it's been backed up a little bit. This is going to be a 26-yard field goal, so this is not a gimme, but it's awfully important for Benjamin Russell because this will put it on 7, and Homewood will get it back with a little less than 4 minutes to play.
25-yard try. He made one from 31 earlier tonight. He's 12 of 17 on the year is die. The kick is up. The kick is perfect. A flag came in late. That will likely be a late hit. Is on top by 7, and we'll get the official word before we roll to a break.
And Chris, if it's against Homewood, that of course, personal foul against Homewood, that's a silly mistake again. What they'll do is assess that on the kickoff. And that'll give Benjamin Russell even a better position to kick it in the end zone, and Homewood has to start on the 20.
He wouldn't take the points off the board, would he, if he had the option? The rule says you don't do it. They're still discussing it. They're still discussing things between the Benjamin Russell captains and the referees.
Well, you said it. That's something that any coach in the country will tell you. You do not take points off the board. Now, Carl Martin was willing to go for it a minute ago, but I don't think you do it here. I think you keep the points.
We've never gotten a signal, but we are assuming that they're going to wipe it off, even though still they haven't made the signal. It may have come after the play.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense. Field goal will penalize on the kickoff.
That answers that question. And now we will take a break. 20-13, Benjamin Russell with the lead. Just 3:15 to go in this state title game. We'll see if Homewood has one more comeback left. And a dejected look on the face of Herb Winch's daughter, a Homewood student. You think she's nervous, Herb?
That young lady looks very nervous, as I think all the Spangles do, because they're not used to losing. This team has won 25 consecutive games, and they find themselves in an unusual spot, trailing 20-13 with 3:15 to go.
And the penalty is huge as well, because it allows Brent Dye, a very good place kicker, to kick off from the 45, and he will just try to kick this one through the uprights just for fun. Roger Schultz down on the sidelines. It's going to take a heck of a comeback for Homewood if they're going to defend their title successfully.
And one thing you've talked about is the time of possession in this, and Homewood at one time had the advantage in that. They have got to get the ball down the field. One thing they do, they're throwing a lot of outs and rolling the quarterback. They've got to go vertical with some of their passing game. They only got 3:15 left in this one. They got to go deep.
And it will be that man, Bragg Knott, who will handle things at quarterback. Again, his turn in the rotation. Two series and rotate. That's what they do between the two quarterbacks.
Not only that, he is the better passer of the two.
Looking, throwing, completing the pass, and stopping the clock. No, they're going to say he's out of bounds. Freddie Young made the catch near the sidelines, but according to the judge over there, the official says he was on that sideline. We'll look at it again.
Take a look at Freddie. He's number 5 there. I don't have a very good angle there. It's hard to call, but the official was right on top of it. We'll go with him.
So 2nd and 10 with 3:11 to play. Homewood trailing in this game. The throwback is complete, but another flag on the play, and this one could bring it back again as Turlot made the catch about a half-yard shy of the first down mark, but it may not matter because this one could come back with a hold. Nope, blocking below the knees is the call.
That's been called a couple of times on Homewood, and that is what we were talking about earlier, that this team in the second half has really self-destructed. A lot of penalties. I mean, the penalty yardage has just piled up on Homewood, and most of it coming here in the second half, and it can't come at a more crucial time than right now with the game on the line.
On the offense, still 2nd down.
That's Brandon Thornton, the sophomore. Yep. Sophomore tailback as he blocks below the waist. And they're going to call that every time. And now Homewood has really got their work cut out here.
Only one penalty in the first half on Homewood. They've had 6, covering 60 yards here in the second. Knott having to roll out, and that will be an incomplete pass, will it not? Yes, it will. Freddie Young was standing out of bounds when he caught the football. He came back to make the catch, but he was standing out of bounds. He just completely lost sight of where he was on the football field.
And the official was looking right down at his feet, and that's another mistake by Homewood. Look at this, if our cameras can catch it. Well, he was out of bounds, steps back in, and of course you can't do that. You cannot come from out of bounds back in the field of play. So once again, another mental mistake by Homewood.
4 wideouts in formation. Homewood just 1 of 10 on 3rd down tries tonight. Not trying to buy some time. Scrambling, but runs out of time as he is brought down back at the 7. Maurice Harrell, the man who will get credit for the sack. And Homewood will have to punt with 2:35 and ticking to go in this football game and only 2 timeouts left.
Well, Bragnott is scrambling for all he's worth here, just trying to look downfield, find a receiver, but those receivers are covered, and then you see a lot of these maroon jerseys, and they get him surrounded, and they get him down on the ground, and Homewood is forced to punt the ball. They've got no choice here.
Gargis will punt, but there's no one deep to receive it. They're just going to stay away from the football. A pretty good piece of strategy on the part of head coach Carl Martin. It does take a Benjamin Russell bounce, and will be down at the 42-yard line, a 32-yard punt from the foot of Homewood. Roger Schultz time ticking away on the Patriots.
I tell you what, this is where Benjamin Russell wants it. They spend a lot of time in the weight room in the offseason, motivated by this game. These big old linemen, they take pride in their strength, and when you're an offensive lineman in this situation, you just want to run it right behind them and go down the field and kill the time.
They've got just 2 minutes and 1 second left to kill in this football game. That's all that stands between the Wildcats and their first ever state championship in football. You see the timeouts remaining. Homewood looking for a stop and a quick timeout. The give up the middle, but able to squirt free for additional yardage. Again, Ty Martin apparently not bothered very badly by that shoulder injury from earlier in this quarter. Back in the game, he wants the football in this situation.
Well, and you should give it to him. He is an outstanding football player. He's sure-handed. He's not going to make many mistakes, and I'm sure Coach Carl Martin has told his team, you are just a minute and a half away for your first ever state championship, and revenge will be sweet. Revenge will be ours. Just don't make a mistake here.
How sweet would this win be for Coach Carl Martin? So many years an assistant coach at Benjamin Russell High School. So many times they were on the door of a state title, but couldn't come up with a win. In his first year as the head coach, they are a minute 12 away from taking the blue trophy back to Alexander City.
Homewood calls a timeout. That'll leave them with 1. Needless to say, this is a huge down coming up right here.
Well, after tonight's contest, our crew will head to the official hotel of the Super 6 television network, the Redmont Crown Plaza, located in Birmingham's historic district. So much to do around the Redmont, but I would imagine most of our crew will be going Betty-Bye very early this evening because we have to get back here tomorrow. 2 big games tomorrow, but again, our thanks to the Redmont Crown Plaza for providing hotel accommodations for our crew, which is broadcasting throughout Alabama to great affiliates such as these. Our flagship, WABM Television in Birmingham, UPN 68, UPN 67 in Montgomery and Huntsville. It's WHDF Television, UPN 15, and in Mobile, WB 55, WBPG.
And don't forget, it'll be 3A tomorrow. Tarrant from right here in the Birmingham area as the Wildcats will take on Holtz Bluff. And then we'll cap it off with the 6A championship tomorrow afternoon. It's another rematch like this one tonight. It features Hoover, the #1 team in the state, taking on Daphne.
2 undefeated teams meeting in 6A. 2 squads that met a year ago in the 5A title game, giving us just as good a game here in 2001 as Martin stays on his feet and a flag comes in late. And if that is on Homewood, that will wrap things up.
It's going to be a face mask, Chris, and you're right. If it's the personal foul variety, it'll be 15, and that will do it.
And barring a turnover, that will close the door as Ty Martin gets the call again, and an inadvertent grab of the face mask by Homewood's Antoine Dunn.
Defense, first down.
But as the Toyota replay showed, he clearly got the face mask, and Carl Martin, he won't celebrate yet. The head coach of the Wildcats, Bob Newton, looking on. An incredible year, an incredible 2 seasons, 25 consecutive wins coming into tonight. And as Harrelson keeps it himself to the 30-yard line, they may have to run, or they will have to run at least one more play, as Homewood will now use its final timeout. And they are getting the beverage bucket ready. But I imagine Carl Martin would be pretty ticked off if he got doused right now with 47 seconds still to go in this game, still only separated by 7 points.
Well, this is going to be a great win for this football program. Their first ever state championship. First-year coach Carl Martin, and I'm sure right now he is just making sure they know the situation. They know that Homewood will be out of timeouts now, so they're probably going to have to run 1 or 2 more plays, and that'll do it. Just hang on to the football. But once again, it's been a great run for Homewood. They got a lot to be proud of. They won the state championship a year ago, and as you pointed out, Chris, try doing that in today's football, win 25 consecutive games. I know Bob Newton and his staff, all the folks at Homewood, can be proud of these young men. Another great and gallant effort here, and this will be a great win for the Benjamin Russell team.
As you see, the Most Valuable Player Award has been given to Clay Harrelson, and understandably so. It was 24 carries for 137 yards, surpassing Brandon Thornton's mark of 132 that he had in the first half. What a fumble! A loose football, and Homewood could not get it. It came squirting free, but the man who scored the first touchdown of the game for Benjamin Russell, Eric Brock, wraps it up. Carl Martin's heart may not start beating again.
Wow, can you believe this? Ty Martin, who has been the really sure-handed guy, and Homewood just got in there and ripped it out. And Eric Brock, as you said, he fell on it and perhaps saved the state championship for this team.
They will have to snap it one time. There is a 1-second differential, but the Wildcats have won or will win the title, as Carl Martin got doused by his players, and I don't think he minds one bit. And soggy, but very happy is Carl Martin.
All these folks have made the trip up from Alex City, and I mean that community emptied out because they did want this revenge. As they said, they wanted to take care of unfinished business, and they have done it.
Carl Martin, the head coach. His assistants, Ted Darby, Richie Brooks, Dwight Busby,